when I was like, 16, 17 years old, I remember specifically like people were like, oh man, like let gay people get married, like gay people got to get married. And I was like, yeah, yeah, like let gay people get married, dude. Like who gives a shit? Like who loves who? That's not any of my business. Let them get married. Who gives a and like that was like a gateway drug.
I know.
And there was all of these small things that were like, hey man, just like let these 5,000 people from this war-torn country just like come here and live here because they're dying over there. And you're like, yeah, what the yeah, let those guys come over here and live here. And there was all these like little tiny like gates that all of a sudden start swinging open, and all of a sudden all of these other ideologies and all of this other shit that we didn't see behind these small issues flooded in and rushed in behind them. And it just caused this like massive like cultural shift. So I think there's like a lot of like extremely complicated and like nuanced answers to that. But like at the same time, like I also feel like, I'm a tinfoil hat guy, and like I don't have any proof, but I just feel like I think they use the mainstream media to control adults with misinformation and false narratives, and I feel
but
like
that's true.
Yeah, I feel like
I mean, you could posit a guess as to why, and maybe that's tinfoil hat, but that's true. I just did an episode with Dr. Drew where CNN talked about what a catastrophe it is to take away the hepatitis B vaccine from babies, and it's like actually that's not true. That what you're saying is the truth.
So I feel like they use the news and shit like that to infiltrate the minds of adults and weaken adults and make adults easier to control and steer and direct them into doing what they want adults to do. Kids don't fucking watch the news. They don't give a shit. They're not going to sit down at 6 p.m. and watch some fucking old man with white hair talk about. So they use pop culture. Hollywood is fucking largely evil, like, in my opinion. So, like, that's another reason for it is, like, how can we fuck up these kids so they're as dependent on us, on the system, as their folks are? So they use shit like whatever it is, Cardi B or Sam Smith, and people, a guy dressed as a woman that's standing up on stage at the fucking Grammys, or lyrics in songs and narratives in movies and weird subliminal messaging and children's shows and children's books and da-da-da-da-da. Because that's the media that they're consuming. We're consuming the evening news. They're consuming pop culture. So it's all been molested and distorted to weaken people and make people confused and make people think they need help. And then the system swoops in and says, perfect, I'm here to help you.
I don't disagree with you. I don't really think that's tin hat at all.
Yeah.
I had a debate with Matt Walsh about gay marriage, and listen, there's also the religious component as well, but they did absolutely utilize the door that gay marriage opened, and was like, what do we do now with these organizations that take in all this money and like all these NGOs and we gotta trans kids. That's what we should do. And it's also a pharma. It's like a multi-gazillion-dollar business. It's this kind of myriad of things. And for me personally, that's when I was like, wait a minute here. Or, men in the Olympics punching women in the face.
Yeah.
And you're going, no, wait, hold on. It's the same with feminism, though. Like, all right, you want Title IX so women can have access to sports, and that's awesome, and you get Serena Williams, like all these great athletes and little girl fat, and then all of a sudden it's like, but hold on.
Yeah.
True feminism is when a guy who thinks he's a woman punches a woman in the face at the Olympics.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
And you're like, no. And I find that so much of this is a U-shaped curve of like, how do we kind of find this equilibrium? Like, of course, people of all colors should have equal access to everything. But then it's like, and now all white people are racist.
Yeah.
And if for some reason just calling that out, it hits you with every pejorative. All right, guys, if you like this clip and you want to watch the full episode, click here. And if you want more content like this, you can subscribe to the show by clicking here.